Yeah, fair enough. All right, here we go. Here we are.
Howdy.
Same time, same place,
Same
different
faces.
context, same faces.
Yeah.
Starting, what would you guys call this? It's definitely a new series.
Yeah.
Ranking. It's a journey. It's a journey. Ranking every single
Journey.
Dead song. We went down Heady version. I went into my Excel sheet. I was quite bored yesterday, and I typed in the name of every single song to these cells, as you guys can see.
This is
So
this is some nerdy dead shit.
this is nerdy dead shit.
Does this contain dead originals and covers, or what is
And
this?
covers.
Oh, okay.
Correct.
It's
I
anything
just
they
went
played
down.
live, right?
Okay.
I guess so. Yeah, I just went down Heady version.
They played there are a few songs that they never played live, which is great, like
Oh, I didn't know
studio
that.
songs. You guys, you keep explaining. I'm gonna look at which ones they are.
Hmm.
I
So I
so
mean,
so
go ahead, Jimmy.
sorry to cut you off,
Sorry.
Finky. I was just gonna
Yeah, you're
say on
good.
that point. I said in the group chat today, like every once in a blue moon when I want to expose myself to new dead stuff, I know it's not the traditional way of throwing on a whole show, but at the end of the day, a whole show is like 3 hours. And
Yep.
a lot of times I might only listen to music for like 40 minutes at a time, driving, cooking, or whatever,
Hmm.
and then pause. So it's going to break the attention anyways. So sometimes I just hit shuffle on a dead on Spotify, and it's actually surprisingly a
Oh,
lot of
that's funny. You did say
stuff,
that.
which gets annoying. But in the studio stuff that pops up, you hear songs where you're like, huh, that's never snuck its way into any of the live shows I've heard. So um, especially like as you scroll down this list, there were definitely some songs I didn't really recognize on there. Um,
Name one. Putting you on the spot.
Critical Envelopment.
Oh,
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
you're missing
That-
out.
It's crazy. So I think the most infamous song they never played live is Pride of Cucamonga, that Phil song. It's like kind of a weird Phil song, but it's really good. It's on From the Mars Hotel, and
Oh,
it's like a
interesting.
song, and they never played it live, not once.
I don't think that's on this, so maybe we'll
Uh,
have a week 15.
There's only one version. I'll put it on there, yeah. And then like Let Me Sing Your Blues Away. It's played very infrequent. I think they did like a handful of times.
Hmm.
Uh, Money Money, good song too. And then I feel like they never really did France. I don't know any France's. Never landed on a set list, yeah. So France never played, which is, there's worse things to happen in the world.
You're telling me that
Agreed.
Billy Idol "Money Money" song's a cover of the Grateful Dead? That's a
Legendary.
joke, everyone. That's a joke.
um, but yeah, so we're starting with these first 10 and put them in our ranking and then go to the next
I believe
10.
so. Yeah. So I mean, it's quite similar to the other two. Oh God, that was really scary. I thought they were all gone. It's quite similar to this. Kind of same concept, just with songs instead of albums. And obviously, this will fill up a lot quicker. After we're planning to do the first 10 right now, so should be um, more populated than this is currently. By the way, sneak peek. There you go. The next 4 weeks,
Mhm.
based on previous discussion.
Love it.
Love it.
Uh, yeah. So I wish, is there a way, like, I know we've discussed this. Is there a way we can just like play snippets of songs? It'd be great to just like show like, specific live versions of songs and why we like those specifically.
Inky
We get
probably can, as because he's screen sharing.
Yeah.
I don't know if there'd be any way to do it other than that. Like,
Yeah.
you might have to be the one to share on your screen.
You'd also get
Yeah.
demonetized, and we're making a lot of money from this, so I don't want to cut off that source of income. So we'll stay away.
Yeah, making so many millions of pesos right now. Um,
We're killing it.
uh, Question before we dive into the songs themselves. We can pull in our ranking. We can pull from any studio or any live version, right? And then I'm probably going to weigh the live versions like way heavier than any studio version of it. And I feel like that's fair as long as we kind of point to what live versions we're talking about.
Yeah.
Sure, I'd say so.
Um,
Even I was going
sorry.
to say similar to Mount Rushmore, where it's just like kind of your own what would you call it,
Criteria.
criteria? Yeah,
Mhm.
exactly.
Inky, if you go to the advanced options of your screen sharing and you can share like computer audio as well. So do you see advanced options on screen share?
Share computer sound.
Yeah, so that's one way to do it. If we wanted to do
Okay.
it.
Well, I'll look into it for next week, but
Yeah.
probably not this one. So
Let's start with
Yeah.
playing the band.
playing in the band, dude. First one, most played song on Heady version.
Is it
You know,
really? Is that how
I
this
think
is
so.
ordered?
Exactly. Yeah, which I thought might be kind of a weakness, but like you get pretty far down and there's still so many bangers. Like every group of 10 is, I think, a worthwhile episode,
Yeah.
in my
Yeah,
opinion.
see, Mama tried in the eighth
Exactly. Yeah.
slot is you're Mr.
Oh,
Fantasy in the 13th.
and
Right,
let's
right, right.
like the other one's a great song, but the other one is number 2.
Ripple at 13.
Yeah, that
Like
feels
that they didn't play it a lot.
Yeah, there's not a
I
ton of
guess.
live. Yeah.
Yeah, we're skewed towards Dad and Company too a little bit. You know what I mean? Like there's a bias there from what
Yep.
they play because they're the ones we've seen in person, but they are not the same band. You know?
Yeah, that is true. So playing in the band. I love this song. I've, for a while I didn't really give it its credit. Um, but man, there's some like 46-minute playing in the bands out there that it's just like crazy. Like this is one of those songs that's really fun. It's a good like opener. And especially if it's a good opener, if they go into like a 20-minute jam and an opener, and you're like, oh shit, one of
Mhm.
these shows. Like that is like, all right, we're here for this. And it's a Bobby original from Ace, and like I really like Bobby's songs.
You
I'm a
like
huge
Ace?
Ace is classic album. I listen to it
Yeah,
all the time. I have it on vinyl, and
right.
it's a cool one to have. I don't really listen to the studio album version ever, just because like the live versions of playing the band are so strong because of those super long jams, and they just really get into it. They really enter into a new zone with it, and they mind body jam and everything. Like they go out there, mind left body, and it's a great song. When I ranked these 10 in a row, it was my number 3. My favorite
Wow.
version is the playing in the band that uh Terrapin on Go to Terrapin. So that's what, May
Pretty
28th,
thick.
1977. So it goes playing in the band into like the greatest Terrapin ever, then drums, not fade away, Wolf Rat back into playing in the band. It's in lead.
Unreal run.
Yeah, like that
That
sandwich
is
of
pretty nasty.
so sick. And I love this song. I think it's a great song. I didn't give it a lot of credit for a while, and I really appreciate it. I'd probably put it, and I know we have a lot of songs here, but I would probably put
Right.
it in my A tier.
You're A tier.
Yeah.
I think I agree with that. I think one of my favorite versions is just this pretty plain and simple Manhattan Center one. I think it's only like 3 minutes long. But you were talking about how they do some really long, uh, cool jams and blend it into other songs, and they do reprises with it. And they also do greatly varying lengths because while it has some of those longer versions, uh, I think it's a pretty tight sound when they don't do a long jam. I think it's got a really catchy chorus. The playing, when he's saying playing in the band. Um, and I think it's just got a really fun, upbeat energy. I like a lot of that out of the Dead.
Yeah.
Um, so I think the versatility of it's cool. I guess is my point, and
Good deal.
I've always liked hearing it. I think it's a cool opener too. I agree with you. I'm cool with A. Inky made some comments before we hit the record button.
Yeah. I am
Makes
curious.
me
Super
think he might
bearish.
disagree.
Yeah, I kind of like how this facilitates a lot of the conversations we just have in our group chat about like what songs do we actually like. So even if we're
Yeah.
not recording, I think it's a good conversation, kind of fun. Might as well record it. I mean, I agree with everything you guys said. Jams are interesting. I'm not going to add on too much more. The one thing we didn't talk about was how Donna ruins a lot of them.
Yeah.
So that's too bad.
Yeah. I don't like the down versions.
But yeah, just never really did it for me. I'm just not a huge fan of the song. That's about
Dude,
it.
this is Donna ruins this song more than anything else. Like
For
the
sure. For sure.
and is tarnished by her. Like she just screams.
Yeah, it's been memed. But I'd
So
probably put
how do you
just
feel about it? Because you just said two different things. I feel like
No, I mean, I agree with you guys. The jams are interesting. I like the reprises. I like when it gets really long. I like how it usually does meld into like a terrapin, a drums, a space. I mean, my favorite one is probably when it goes into Uncle John's band. That's what I was looking up right before we started. It's a five something 77, May 77. So I mean, obviously
77.
amazing, but yeah, I don't know. There's never loved the song. I give it a solid B myself. So
Okay.
I say we average out to a low A.
Low A.
Low A.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
I
That's fair.
guess low goes
Leave it
there.
there.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is
All right.
interesting. I want one of you guys to go first.
Inky and I have a soft spot for this song. I feel we just
It's
wait
fun.
for the Spanish ladies.
Energy's good. Yeah.
Uh,
Spanish
yeah.
lady.
when Bob screams Spanish ladies, that's a
Yeah.
the energy is good. I feel like playing in the band and the other one, they go well with drum space. It's kind of that whole second set, like mid-second set vibe with this song.
Yeah.
They jam a ton in the other one. And it's not a song where I'm like, oh, I want to go listen to the other one. It's a song where when it comes on, I really enjoy listening to it. But I never
Especially live, I'd be so hyped.
yeah, exactly. It's one of those like high energy songs. I feel like it brings the energy to drums and space like later into a jam pretty often.
It'd be good to get Nigel's thoughts on it too. I know it has an interesting time signature, so I'm
Mm.
sure there's a lot to appreciate there that goes right over a lot of our heads.
Yeah.
And there's great solos in there too. Like I'm thinking of the 71 Harper College with Jerry.
Mm,
You guys know that one?
not off the
It,
top of my head.
the tone is incredible.
I think I've heard that show. Yeah, I
It's a
can't
milky
say.
tone. Birmingham College.
Okay.
It's like
What
a
is it?
purplish cover.
Do you know
This
what
is
it
where
could
we
have
might
been
need
out of?
audio. Oh, I don't know. It's a long run. It might have a cryptical envelopment in there.
Ooh.
Ooh, hoo, hoo.
There's a
I give it
really
a high A
high A. Oh, wow.
myself. Yeah,
Okay. There's
He's hot.
above playing in the band.
whoa. There's a really good one on Red Rocks, that's 7878.
Oh,
Estimate,
yes.
That's a good one. Yeah.
inside is estimated profit. The other one, Eyes of the World, Rhythm Devils, Space Warfare. Like,
Oh,
wow.
and the
That's a fun
Franklins,
one.
I think.
Yeah, and I feel
The
like that's a show
Franklins in
that a
there.
lot of us listen to toward the beginning of our like dead career.
Yeah, yeah.
I would
Most
say so.
definitely.
Yeah.
Uh, I would not give it an A. I would not give it above a play in the band. I'd probably either go low A. I'd probably go B, like somewhere in the B's.
Yeah. So I wanted you guys to go first because this is a song that I don't know as well. Like, so kind of what I mean by that is like I don't think there's one of these saved in like the Live Dead playlist that I have where I kind of take either the first or the best version of a live song that I've heard and dump it in the playlist.
Mhm.
I don't even think I have one of these in there. That's not me shitting on it. It's not like I've heard it come up in a set and been like, wow, this sucks. But it's never really caught my attention. Like
Yeah.
I've never latched onto it. So I'll defer to your guys' opinion, but I agree with Jack. Like I can't give that an A for everything
Jordan three.
for every reason I just said.
I think it's a high B.
And I decidedly like playing in the band more than that. So I think that's fair. I think we can all more or less agree on that.
I realized I got my Deadliest Catch, which is like my playlist of all my favorite Dead versions. I haven't listened to that in years. I forgot about that playlist. I got to put her back on. Yeah, but there's definitely not another one on that playlist.
Those are fun, man.
Yeah.
When you go back to a playlist, if you like, especially Dead one, like what Dead was I listening to in
Yeah.
2021 or something?
Yeah, this is all February. This is on Valentine's Day of February 2019 because I was
Wow.
not doing much that day.
Yeah, the cool thing about either a playlist or like what I was talking about with shuffling everything on their Spotify page, and specifically with like the playlist that you yourself curate, is that it's almost like even though it is the same version of the songs, which I think is the downside of it, especially for people who really appreciate that about Dead and how there's so many different versions of each song. When you listen to the playlist, uh, it kind of sounds like you're just like it's like a different Dead show every day that you're listening to, and sometimes you hear things blend into each other really cool, especially because on Spotify I have that like 6 second crossfade
Oh yeah.
on, so
I took
sometimes
that
you
off
hear like this.
specifically for the Dead.
Uh,
You know what I mean?
It's bad
It's
for
gonna
a
hit.
show. Good for what Seamus is doing.
Got it. Got it.
Well, I don't think the crossfade actually. When you listen to an album, maybe this is a change that they made, but when you listen to an album, uh, when it goes from song to song, even if you have crossfade on, it doesn't cross it. I think it knows that it's like you're listening to.
I might have queued stuff before, which maybe screwed it up.
It'll do it. It'll do it when you cue. Yeah.
I
And
queued the whole
again, for
show.
any type of, it works really well for like rap and house music and stuff. As you know, I know you're a big fan, Nikki.
I am, yeah,
But yeah, but
correct.
with rock, it's hit or miss. Because you've got like drums playing at a certain beat and tempo, just blending into like a different drum kit playing at a different tempo, and it sounds terrible. But sometimes it works, and I've had some really cool ones with dead stuff, especially because like you hear it, it fades out into the audience, and the next song kind of comes in with an audience, so it actually sounds like it could have been the same show. That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Nice.
Yeah.
So are you B on this or C or D?
Other one? I think we said B. I would have given an A above playing the
Unless you want
band.
to
You
go
guys
lower,
both said
Jack.
B. Just
I'm
keep
going for
carrying
B.
it.
Hey, I don't want to go higher with it though.
All right.
Fair enough.
China
China
Rider.
Rider. Cult classic. Low S easy.
So it's two songs. Why is it China Rider? I know they usually almost always go into each other, but it's two different songs.
Hey man,
And
that's how I was listed on Heady version. I'm
that's
not
it's
gonna
strange.
You
Well,
got to
so
take that up with the experts, man.
my my favorite rider goes that's Providence 62674, Dick's Picks Volume 12. It goes starts jam, then China Cat, then Mine Left Body Jam, then Rider, then Beer Barrel Polka. It's
Dude, I think I heard that today when I was
really,
shuffling. Was that little jam in between like a minute and a half long?
yeah,
Yeah,
nice.
I
I
think
think
I
that's
heard that
one
today.
of the best riders. And um so I love Rider. That's an S song for me. China is like a C.
wow.
Wow. Oh, wow.
Jesus.
Hmm.
This is why we do these episodes. I did not know that.
Yeah. I don't know. I
Yeah,
really
sorry I
like when
melded them then.
China ends. I love when China ends and Rider begins. The transition is always super fun because you don't necessarily know what's going to happen, but it pretty much always happens. Um, I'm just ready for China to be over so Rider can start. Rider is like one of my favorite songs. I always thought it was a slightly stupid song because they cover it, but this before I knew the dead.
That is a really cool cover. Are you
It's
talking
a
about the
great
live one?
So they have they have two covers of it. One of them is with Bob Weir, but they have another one that I knew more that was like older that they had. I'm not sure. I don't think it's alive. I think they have a studio cover of it, and it's awesome. Um, so for me, it's like it's a tough one. I'll let you guys talk about it though before I say my number letter.
James, how do you feel about Jack saying China Cat Sunflowers is a C, D, F, horrible?
I think we lost him.
There you go.
Hope,
He's back. You're good.
can you hear me now? Dude, it's hopefully I'll be moving out soon, so hopefully it won't be an issue.
It's a little spotty,
Um,
but I think you're good.
Damn it! I keep
Yeah,
thinking he's
he's
good.
just about to go.
Oh no!
I think you're good. I mean, I said everything I needed to say. It's a cult classic. It's a low S. I wouldn't give it. I think I don't like it as much as most people do. Personally, like I think a lot of deadheads are like China Rider. Like this is the greatest thing of all time. This is my one request at a show. I
Yeah.
need a China Rider, but for me, it's fine. But
Do you have just like in your head just kind of like a subset of songs that are like your S tier in your head? I kind of have mine, and
probably,
Rider's kind of up there for me in my S tier. Yeah, but I don't like I just skip to the Rider usually, or like fast forward to the end of the China.
yeah, I could catch that little bit at
Yeah.
the end.
So I totally see where you're coming from. I could see it. I would definitely let it be an A, maybe a low S just because Rider's so good. I would let this be an A. It's
Interesting.
too bad Famous is not part of this.
Oh dear. Yeah, he's just gone.
It's
I say
just
we circle back to it.
okay.
Tough. I agree with your thing though. If you are, that's like 1/6 of the pick because you hate half of the song, just three of us.
Dude,
So
like yeah, it's tough, man. I mean, just like
lower than playing in the band. Again, we'd have to get James's take, but I feel like if it was just us two going right now, it'd probably be. Oh,
I'd
this
say
is tough
both.
too.
I know this is really tough. I
We're on
love
the third song. It's splitting hairs already.
it's gonna take months.
I'd say
uh
above.
yeah, I guess I'd say above. Like I wish I was a headlight on a northbound train. Amazing. Just
uh, yeah, sorry. I guess I don't know. I don't really think about splitting it up because it's really hard to rank them individually, I think, because you would think to, I don't know. Maybe ranking them like or the duos, the combinations make them much stronger than individual songs, so that's not like a fair thing to do, but
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah. I guess it's not that deep at the end of the day.
No, not that deep at the end of the day.
Ah, Seamus. There he is.
Nice.
Hey
Cheers.
guys. Yeah, I this is horrible.
Well, your
Um,
quality's good now.
yeah, I'm on my phone.
Okay.
It's the good news is I heard pretty much everything you guys were saying.
Okay.
Yeah, we're kind of deferring to you here for the China Rider.
So so first off, Jack's take is interesting because it probably should be split. I don't know if how Inky has it on the rest of the list. If it's like is Help Slip Frank split or is it together? Is
No,
Scarlet Fire together or is it
no. Oh,
separate?
yes, it's together.
Um,
Again, I just stole off
What is
yeah.
Heady
No, no.
version.
what is GDTRFB?
I also had that question.
Going down the road feeling bad.
Uh,
Oh, yeah. Cheeky.
Oh,
I'm
S, no
disappointed I
S.
couldn't figure that out.
That's for sure. um,
I'm a fan of it. But so as far as China Rider, if we're gonna accept that it's one, and also to Jack's point, I feel like even when I heard that little jam, it still sounded like one of the two songs, China or Rider. I mean, it's only a minute and a half, so I thought it was interesting that they even split it up
so,
on Spotify on the track list. Um, so China Rider definitely A. I mean, I'd be tempted to say S. Jack doesn't care for China. I think where you have it is fair. I'm cool with that. If they were split and we all said Rider S, I'd be cool with that too. Also, a really fun song to play. Inky, I think me and you have jammed on Rider, haven't we?
We have.
Yeah, not a big deal.
We might sneak
Um,
that in on an episode one day.
yeah, maybe one day. I'm cool with that. I'm definitely cool with that. And Jack, you're talking about the lyrics behind it too, and also the way they in most of the versions in that I wish I was a headlight part and how they build onto that. Sometimes they play quiet right before they go into it, and then when
Yeah,
it hits that,
that is
they
nice.
bring the dynamics up a lot and make it real loud. I think it's a fun song.
there's a really good like acoustic rider out there that I listened to a long time ago, and I've never been able to find it again. But
It's the
it's just,
same Birmingham show I was talking about from the other with the other one.
is it?
Harper College, yeah. Acoustic
But it's
Rider.
on Spotify. So I've listened to it on Spotify.
It is on Spotify.
Okay. Well, at Binghamton, Harper College,
I don't think it's Binghamton.
Binghamton,
Harper
Bing.
maybe it is. I thought it was Birmingham. I think that's so maybe I'm wrong. But yeah, it's the 71, the purple and
Yeah,
pinkish
yeah.
cover.
Oh, I've seen 5270 on Tony's.
Damn, it's not even 71.
Yeah, I think that's the one. Yeah, that might be the best one. Now that I think about it, they do like really different lyrics on that one too. Like they throw in different verses.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, yeah,
And,
yeah.
like, it's like it's like I wish I was like a something under a log or some stupid
Yeah,
shit.
yeah.
Yeah, just like really
Yeah,
folk. It's really fun.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, Don't Ease Me In, Rider, Friend of the Devil, Direwolf, like that's a, and then the Black Peter's actually pretty good. I'm not a huge Black Peter fan, as we have discussed. We're not.
It's an acoustic first set, I think, and
Yeah,
then yeah, it gets milky for the second set.
yeah,
All right, let's keep going.
yeah.
Sugar Mag, Seamus, you alive?
Yeah, I am. Sorry, I've
Nice.
never used
Yeah,
Zoom on my
no,
phone
you look good.
before, so I'm going
No,
through it right now.
you're looking good. Sounding good.
Thanks, thanks, babe. Uh, Sugar Magnolia, I'm a big fan of, but I don't know if everybody here is going to agree with me. Um, I really like the build up and then just like the end solo. I mean, I'll again, obviously, I'm a sucker for lead guitar and anything like guitar solo centric. And one thing I wanted to say about the length of Dead songs, because like it's obviously a topic with the band, and of course, people who don't know the Dead all make the same joke. They're like, oh, "I went to a Dead show once. It was an hour and a half. Only heard 3 songs." Haha. Like, all right, pal, kick rocks, bud. First off, it's 3 hours. Second
First
off,
off,
and it was
fuck you.
7 songs. Yeah, yeah,
No one likes you.
yeah. But I will say, like, sometimes the excessively long jams are not really up my alley. So the
Right.
only point I was going to make about that is that the concept that Nigel's talked about, um, is just like the length and really every part of the song servicing the song itself. So you take a Sugar Magnolia, it's like 7 or 8 minutes long when it's live usually, which honestly is kind of on the shorter end of songs for them. At least their average length of song. But for a lot of other bands, it's a really long song. So the progression to compare it to Freebird, obviously Freebird's like super easy and then like just takes off. This has kind of more level throughout the whole time, but it's the same thing where it's like very structured for those first 3 minutes, 4 minutes. Uh, and then there's kind of like that jam at the end. And like that's all the stuff I love about the Dead and the length of their songs and you
Nice.
know.
Well put.
So I rank that song highly. I mean, I would say I would be happy to put it at an A. I don't know what I'm gonna have to figure out as we go what I consider an S. I'd be happy to put that as an A. What do you guys think?
I know my, and this is far
I've never
from,
heard this song before. The question mark.
I know this one.
I don't know this one.
Yeah, Seamus, I totally get where you're coming from, and I definitely respect it. I feel like
Oh, here
That's
we
a
go.
disagreement.
Yeah.
like I definitely think it like encompasses the Dead, and I feel like it really like embodies like early Dead kind of vibe, you know, just like it's sort of like happy 60s, kind of like China Cat, like it's kind of got the same feel to it to me, just like kind of bubbly. And I don't know, I tried to look for like my favorite version and I couldn't find one. Um I'm not a huge fan of this song. I just it never, it's kind of one of those like when it's on a set, like if I hear it live, I'm like, okay, word, yeah, fun song, fun to dance to. Um,
And you know I love dancing.
and Amos is the biggest dancer I know. Um, but yeah, it's not really one of my. I don't know. Nothing really does it for me with this one. Um, I just I know my S's and this ain't it. And
This ain't it.
I would probably go. I would probably. But like I know it's a hot take because I know like Dead it's a very loved Dead song by many people. It's a very popular song. And I think it's just kind of middle of the road. You know, it doesn't do anything super exciting for me. I would put it at a B. And I guess we'll see what Inky says.
I totally agree. Doesn't do it for me. And I think we average out and win. I'm
Darn.
purposely gonna put it right here because I think the next one kind of slides in nearby. Favorite version, I do like the closing of Winterland one.
Oh yeah.
5, 4,
Yes.
3, 2, and
Two and a
then
half.
yeah.
2 3/4.
Wait,
Uh,
is that the New Year's one?
yeah.
Yeah.
And Winterland, and that is a good Sugar Magnolia. It's fun. Yeah, it's fun when it
Yeah,
starts.
exactly. It's just kind of fun. But if that's
Is
your
that when
best
like
one, then
balloons come down on stage and stuff like that?
I don't know if I've seen the live video of
I've
it.
just listened.
Well, check out the video because I'm pretty sure I'm right about that, but I could be wrong. I know
Nice.
there's a video of some live song of theirs that they do at New Year's, and like as they break into it, all the balloons come out of the. It might have been an indoor show, though. Thinking about it like that, so I don't know if it would have been that one. I don't know, but that's fair. Jack, you've criticized the lyrics on that one before, haven't you? For just being like kind of stereotypical
Yeah, just like
hippie-ish.
summer love, like muddy boobs and stuff. I don't know, just like
Gross.
yeah. It's like you got to try this new the brown acid, man. I don't know, it's not for me. You know what would be interesting if we added some, I don't know. I know there's already a lot of songs here, but if we added all like Jerry band songs, I'd love
I
Yeah,
mean, twist my arm.
yeah. If this starts picking up steam, we'll just keep rolling with it.
yes.
Just start
Dude,
living
throw in Dead and Company. Like, let's just keep it rolling.
Rat Dog further. Ah, all right. Jack Straw.
a lot of the same thoughts for me that you guys were, or at least that Jack was saying with Sugar Magnolia.
I think
I'd put it
also,
above,
yeah.
but not, they're close.
I think
I would
it's
maybe even put it below.
I would put it above. I would put it above the other one. Um, for a while, it was a middle of the road song for me, and I always felt like people really loved it, and I kind of just like listened to it more. Maybe I should do this with Sugar Magnolia, but like it picks up. Like it's really it's a nice intro. It's a beautiful intro to this. It's a good opener.
Yeah.
And then they really pick up steam after a little bit. And I think it's a fun song. I mean, I would probably put low A, high B, but if you guys are thinking like below Sugar Magnolia, then maybe like a mid B somewhere.
I was putting
Yeah.
right there, which is why I moved kind of Sugar Magnolia, placed it there. So
As I think about it, it's definitely a good song. I think the Cornell version is sick.
That's such awesome.
Yeah, I'd be happy to put it the highest in B. I feel like that's closer to where you think it should go. You're saying A, Inky's saying mid B, or me. I'm saying high B. So let's just go high B. Not
fair
because I
enough.
said it, but because it's.
No, I think you're right.
I
Captures
also
it
real
well.
quick. So, I think Sugar Magnolia. I think the one that I always listen to is it Lysum maybe
Lyceum.
London. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somewhere in that 72 or something like that. I like that one a lot. It's a good recording of it too. It sounds pretty clean.
Yeah.
Interested to see. Jack, you've talked about trucking before too, I think, on the American Beauty podcast episode.
Oh yeah, I think I did. How I don't really like it.
Yeah. Yes, that is what you said.
I like that Pacific Northwest version. I don't know if you guys know it off the top of your head. It's a pretty recognizable version where the Jerry goes like nuts on it, and it's kind of like, okay, so I was in a certain head, I was on a certain something when I was listening to it,
I
and
see.
like yeah, yeah. I was tripping on listening to it, and it was like kind of scary how crazy it was going. Like it was intense, and I don't know. It just kind of rubbed me the wrong way. And it's also again one of the kind of middle of the road songs, but people love this song. People love trucking, and
Yeah.
like I said on the podcast last episode, what is great about this song is the one like what a long strange trip it's been. Probably one of the most recognizable Dead lyrics of all their songs. Definitely in the top 5. And for that alone, I would give the song some credit. But other than that, it's a fun song.
I'm totally with you. I think you put it well for me. I'd give it like a low B. I was almost, it might be kind of a hot take, but like a high C. I think that's a little too harsh. So maybe bottom of B for me. Maybe
James?
in between Other One and Sugar Magnolia.
Yeah, I think I would be happy with that. Personally, I'm gonna like a lot of these more than the other one, really, but that's fine. I'm fine with it being B, just in the sense that like I like it, but I think it's another one. I know this isn't directly what you were saying, Jack, but it's another one that can go really long sometimes when maybe doesn't need to. Um, there are definitely some versions of it I really like. It's fun, it's recognizable. I don't know. I'm kind of drawing a blank, like musically, how you would describe that if you would call it like a bluesy thing that it's doing there with the riff. Um, I like it. Yeah, nothing special. I'm fine with B. Fine with low B if you want to put it there. I do have a question though for like Truckin' and Sugar Magnolia. Um, do you guys think? Because again, like I defer to you guys as having listened to more Dead than I have. And do you guys think that those two songs maybe rub you the wrong way a little bit because they're uh beginner-ish level Dead songs or live Dead songs?
I feel like I'd be lying if I said no. I don't want to.
Cliche, I guess is the word I'm looking for,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah, and like probably like why we like the other one, and like I feel like if someone who didn't listen to the Dead as much, like you're kidding me, this weird jam song's better than Truckin' and Sugar Magnolia, but I don't know if there's a level of pretension to that, but that's kind of like how I feel.
I've never thought about
Yeah.
it consciously, but yeah, you might be right. That might be it.
I think we're just assholes, Inky. We're just cynical assholes.
I think Seamus is about to get his psychology PhD and take
I
me
feel
and you
like
as
we've
our first
joked.
patient.
I feel like we've joked before about like me sometimes perfectly describing the way you think about things in certain contexts. I'm not saying I know like the inner workings of your psyche to a T, but I think there were times where we were hanging back on like my deck and stuff, and I explained something really well, and you were like, "Wow!" Like you basically just said the same thing you just said, and then you were like, "Are you reading my mind right now?" You're like, "I gotta get out of here."
This guy.
This guy.
So moving on to these last four, I think they are four interesting ones, and
Mhm.
I'm interested to
Indeed.
see what angle we're coming from. Um, Eyes of the World is next, and Jack, I know that you love this one, correct?
Yeah, it's probably my most listened to Dead song. Mostly like one version too. That one, the NASA one was my like number one Spotify song for like 3 years in a row. Um,
That's awesome.
I mean, it's an S song for me. That's just all I gotta say. It's one of my favorites. I love it so much. When they played it early eyes last year in Wrigley, it was such. I mean,
Yeah,
it was a really good one too. They jammed really hard and it was beautiful. Great lyrics. They do a lot of great stuff. There's a lot of, it's a really different version in a lot of places. They do a lot of cool stuff with it. Obviously, like I'm partial to the sax that Branford Marsalis brings into the show called Wake Up to Find Out. I mean, I think it's a fantastic song, and I think it's one of the most beautiful.
that Branford Marsalis bit. It was it just that one that he played on with them for that?
It was he may have done more work with them. That was the first show we ever. That was the first time he ever played with them. Like he had known them, and they asked him to play with him in Nassau, and he hopped on. And I mean, he comes in like a few songs in to the show, and he comes on for that bird song, and that bird song that he's on is phenomenal too. Like that, he really crushes it, and then he crushes it with his 18-minute eyes. Like, yeah, I think he might have done some stuff with them after that, but this is kind of what he's known for with them.
Gotcha. I'll have to listen to the show in its entirety. I feel like I may have before, but it is definitely really cool what he does on Eyes. Inky, how do you feel about the song?
Cult classic, easy S, high S.
Yes.
Fair.
I love
I'm willing to
every
put it in
single
S.
jam.
Yeah.
All
Okay,
right.
there we have it.
That's
Our first
fun.
S.
That's like you guys gave me a birthday present. Thank you.
But
You're
I will say, Inky, do you want to move it more towards the middle? Because I'm still
Yeah, that's
not
fair.
really.
fair enough. I guess you do have all the power in this.
That I do. No, we can for now, but it is a high S for me.
I'm still defining what an S is for me. And Eyes is a song. So speaking honestly about it, Eyes is one that I skip a good amount of times.
Fair.
But but that doesn't necessarily mean like the Beatles, whenever they come on certain playlists, and for now they're not on a lot of my playlists. Like I would skip them a lot, but like I saw a huge love for the Beatles. It's just a mood sort of thing for me. I mean, I feel like I've outlined the type of music I listen to most of the time enough on this podcast, episode after episode. So you can imagine how this is like you know, a little bit
Yeah,
outside of the box
true.
of what I would listen to in the 80% of what I listen to. But dude, when I'm when I'm feeling it, it's a beautiful song. So I'm cool with putting it in this.
Cool.
Love to hear it.
Especially the Branford Marsalis version.
Yeah, yeah. This is an interesting one
For
because
sure.
it's not really defined, you know.
Just how
Like,
you feel about it.
yeah, it's just how you
As a
feel.
concept, really,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say.
Are you one who goes to the bathroom in drums in space, or are you a true?
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Um, I prefer to
I
go through
mean,
the. You
I
are, you are.
I am. I
I
am. Yeah.
prefer,
I wish Nigel was here to talk about it.
yeah,
Right. I don't
I
know what
Because
you
he
prefer.
find
seems like
so fascinating about it.
genuine. He seems really fascinated by it when we talk about it on here. The
Yeah,
few times,
which
the
is
one or two
cool.
times we have. Yeah.
Um, I prefer to go to the bathroom during like "Here Comes the Sunshine" or something, um, versus drums in space. Uh, I went to J Rad, Joe versus Almost Dead, and they did it drums in space, and I didn't like it. They just went for too long, and it was too much. I think the Dead and Co drums in space is more space than drums, just because it's mostly Mickey, and like it's a lot more like synth and stuff, and more of like the weird shit that Mickey does. Um, so the Dead and Co have really changed drums in space, I feel. Think of Cornell. There isn't even a drums in space. Drums in space is in most shows. I don't know if that's a fact. I think it's in most shows. They didn't do it in Cornell, and there's kind of probably a reason that Cornell is so widely loved is because it's not there, and it's just a really tight show. Drums isn't tight. Drums is about as
It's
loose
not
as
tight.
yeah.
Yeah.
Not that
Yeah.
it's trying to be or anything, but that's just it's what it is. I don't know, Inky. I'm curious your thoughts here.
Yeah.
I think the concept is cool, but I'm also just not super into it. I might go to the bathroom if I need to piss pretty bad. It's probably a C for me, maybe, because I think there's dead songs that are bad that go in D, or
Yeah.
I don't like Black Peter. Hold on, I just saw it right there
I
at the
was
front
gonna
of my
ask you to
eye.
say one just so I could kind of
Sniped
see.
it.
I don't know what I would put in like D. I mean, I'd put this in D.
I might put Mexicali Blues in D.
Oh,
Fair.
that's a good
Fair.
shout too. It's a
It's
bad
fun, but
song.
it's a bad song. Objectively bad. Yeah, I'll
That is
put it
kind of
this
fun.
way. I've never like looked for a drums in space and put it on. Okay. I've never put on drums in
It's a
space.
great way to put it. I mean, it's like so conceptually, it's very Grateful Dead jam bandy. Like it's, and
Oh
I
yeah, yeah,
respect it as a concept. Also, most of my interactions with it are probably Dead and Company, and that's an
Yeah.
interesting point to make that it's more
Yeah.
space with them. Because I was thinking about it before we recorded, and I was like, drums. I don't know, dude. There are times when I'm in the mood for a drum solo, like a Neil Peart drum solo, especially. Uh, like I've looked at them up on YouTube, but like, dude, I've heard like there's a cool Randy Rhoads live album. I have one side of it on vinyl because I was like, oh my god, I can't believe this record store has this on vinyl and it's only $6. I didn't fucking check. I didn't think about the fact it's a live show and it's probably have 2 discs. So I have one of the discs, and
hey, it
the
counts for
first
something.
one it's awesome because I think it was like one of Randy Rhoads' last shows with him, and he's a guitarist that we probably could have mentioned in Mount Rushmore, even though he died when he was like 25. Point is, there's a drum solo at the end of a song that I like in it, and it's just a shame because on Spotify it's the same track, so it's an 8-minute song. And the last 5 minutes are a drum solo, and it's like, dude, like he might be doing some cool stuff, but like that's a long time to hear someone banging on the toms like fucking
Yeah,
Georgia the Jungle. Like I think you know what I mean.
Yeah. I say go we go mid C with this then, based off what we said.
maybe even low C. Yeah.
Yeah, let's see.
I'm low C, dude. I think did. I wonder if Nigel's sitting at home right now just fuming.
He can sense that there's something
Yeah.
wrong with the
So that
universe.
something's amiss right now.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
Um, yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting concept. I don't care for Cornell. Cornell is like the idea of a show. I should save this till we talk about it, but it's like when we talk about an album that's just banger after banger, like Cornell just fucking hits you like 15 times in a row. There's no
Yeah, it's
there's
Sephiroth,
no
Jimmy.
drums in space breather. You know what I mean? That's like
Yeah.
a timeout in the set. I almost think that's I look at that as like a second step break, and I feel like the band might use it as such too.
Mhm.
Um, and I don't need that. I'm not 80. I don't need that second separate. I'm like, let's
Yeah.
keep it, dude. The Philly show
I was
where
gonna mention that.
Yeah.
So sick.
Did they probably did a drums in space at that, right?
I don't remember. We could look it up, but I don't remember.
Wells
Uh,
Fargo.
That was
yeah.
17. Or
No, not Wells Fargo. Citizens Bank.
okay.
2021.
Yeah, I don't
20
know.
the double rainbow show.
So sick.
The elusive Once at Night.
Yeah. So awesome.
Yeah, dude, it's that unbelievable listening experience.
Went right into Terrapin. Maggie was crying.
Maggie.
Come on.
It's gonna be okay, Maggie.
I'd probably cry too. No.
Probably came close to it.
Dude, as like the
Because-
clouds separating the sky and there.
Let's
That rumbly terrapin comes in.
I was just gonna say the reason why that was so sick is because a couple years prior at the Philly show, it got rained out. They played the first song of the second set, and then they had to stop because of lightning. And we were staying there hoping it would end, hoping that it would resume, and then it just started pouring on us. We were in Camden, all muddy. We got charged like $100 because we got the Uber soaking wet.
Oh wow!
But the worst part
Never
of it,
heard that before.
the worst part of it, aside from the fact that the show ended early, is that when they posted the set on their Instagram afterwards, you could see that Terrapin Station was the encore and it was crossed off.
and it
My
said
goodness.
"fuck you, Seamus."
Yeah, and they just drew a little dick next to it.
It's a little guy like pissing on it.
And Terrapin is like the first like Terrapin was the first experience I had with the Dead. Like we'd be smoking at the Pavilion in high school, and Tim would throw it on. So it wasn't like a Box of Rain, fucking Ripple type song. It was like, wow, what is this 14-minute song? Like, what's going on here?
Yeah.
And that was my first. So I really had always wanted to hear that, and it got taken away from me, and then they gave it to me.
Well, we all know where Terrapin's going, but we'll save that for another episode.
Yeah.
Let's do Wharf Rat. I like that story though,
Yeah.
Shane. It's good to hear. I had the same thing with Eyes. Wharf Rat. I'm an S guy for Wharf Rat. It's one of my favorite songs. I love this song. It's just so beautiful.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I also did not know that about you.
Yeah, coming out today. I'm a Wharf Rat guy. It's a cool message too. I mean, like the Wharf Rats now are like the people who have like recovered from like being drug addicts, and now they're sober and they attend the Dead shows. It's the whole thing. They're the Wharf Rats.
I didn't know that.
It's kind of like what the song is about.
Cool.
Like half of my life is spent doing time, the other half drunk and burgundy wine, half the time doing stuck in jail doing someone else's time. It's all like way, and just like I'm probably butchering a little bit of like what's
some motherfucker's crime,
but it's like it's about just like drugs and alcohol just like destroying your life, and like, and I'll get up and fly away, like overcome. And it's a really beautiful song, and the message behind it, but also like I think the song itself like is just beautiful. I don't know, it's one of my favorite songs. I love it. The Pacific Northwest 73 74 is, I think, the best version.
That is a great
good call. Doesn't the one you were listening to have one too recently? 5-7.
Oh, yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and it's good.
That was a great overview.
5-7 the day before Cornell.
Yeah.
5-8. Do you have that on vinyl?
Yeah, I got it on Record Store Day. So
that is amazing.
I was bumping it yesterday. I was home alone, just between day drinking and night drinking, and I was drinking a Modelo and just dancing. Great.
What
do you think, Inky?
Gut reaction was low B, bottom of B, but I like everything Jack said about it, and it kind of brought back a lot of memories of listening to it in the past. It is a beautiful song. I've heard it described. I've seen it in the comment sections. A lot of people crying when they hear a song. I totally forgot about the entire message of the song, the Wharf Rats, the Dead thing. So, yeah. Still, I mean, my gut reaction was still true. I mean, like, I'm not super excited about it.
Listen to the Pacific
But
Northwest version. After this, maybe you'll have a change of heart. But yeah, that's fair, I suppose.
high B. Yeah, it just doesn't do it for me, but I hear what you're saying with like the beauty of the song. Yeah. Seamus,
When I
sorry,
think
go
of
ahead.
my S, this isn't my S's for sure. So, Jameis.
That's interesting. I like it. I definitely like it. Again, one that I don't listen to as much, but not because I don't like it, just because of the pace of it. I guess I was aloof to the meaning of it. Shocker. That's I like that backstory a lot about it. That might be enough for me to put it in low A. It doesn't have the same effect for me as it does for you in terms of like an S factor effect. But I don't. I mean, I'd say either high B or low A just to bump it up a little closer to where Jack sees it. It's a good song. I think it's got some really like for me that's like a rainy day song. And
Yeah,
when the song gets like a little brighter, right before like the pause that's in it, I like that. Um, I like that vibe. I think it fits the kind of message because it feels like there's a lot that it's trying to convey in that theme about recovering drug use, which is interesting because obviously we talk about like the summer love element of the drugs of the dead, and like the drug use that everybody was using at the time, and how like there's so much positivity with the psychedelic element of it, but there's obviously a lot of people who like the dead who have since kind of dove into like recovery. And so I know a couple deadheads that are older who have had to like go through the recovery element of it. So that's a whole different side of the experience of what
there's a dark
somebody's.
side.
Yeah,
There's a
yeah.
lot of
I mean,
heroin
fucking
that like can't be
look at
done.
look at Jerry. You know what I mean?
Jerry and Brent, like I mean, they were surrounded by, you know, just a lot of heroin, and it's a big part of the dead, and you hear that in like a good amount of their songs, and it's one of those things that like you can't avoid the darkness, like you need to face the darkness, and I think this song is like a good representation of that. I say go listen to it again. I'm gonna listen to it after this. Go listen to it again. I'm down with a low A if you guys want to.
Let's do it. Let's do
I
it.
love that we're doing this because when I'm saying like I have my S's in my head, I always feel like everyone kind of has like the same S's is what I feel. At least like our group. And that's clearly not the case. And that's so interesting. Because we all perceive it so differently.
It's kind of not the case at all, I'd say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is interesting. Yeah, and I
I'm
think it's
just
cool that
looking
we
here
all love the
now, and
dead.
there's a few that I'm seeing we're gonna have some divisiveness.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Like, I'm thinking Tennessee
taking
Jet
us.
is S for you, Seamus. Sorry, but yeah, last song. We'll get to that when we get to that.
It sure is, pal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But all of that being said, how do we feel about Bertha?
Yeah.
I'll start it. There's in my mind, I break up a lot of these by their set one songs
Mm-hmm.
and their set two songs, like Eyes, set two, other one, set two, Wharf Rat, set two, Do, set two, Scarlet Fire, set two, and then kind of like the more standard, quote unquote, like standard songs, 3, 5, 6 minutes. They're not so jammy, and Bertha falls into that category. And out of those songs, I think it's one of the best. I'd give it a low S. I think it never misses.
I knew you would. I know you're a big fan of the song.
Huge. You know what I am not a huge fan of that I think might get on your nerves, Seamus, is when it goes into Good Lovin'. I'm not a huge fan of Good Lovin'. I can do Bertha on its own.
I like Good Lovin' a lot, but that's we'll talk about that on a different day. Jack, how do you feel about Bertha?
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan. It's it's right there with like Sugar Magnolia for me. No, I'd say it's like kind of Jack Straw for me. Like it's like I'd be I love this is the second time I've mentioned this show, but like the Terrapin May 28th, 1977, the opener Bertha is really good, and it goes in Good Lovin', which isn't like a standout, but like I like that Bertha. It's a good opener.
What
It's
about Red Rocks?
song. Yeah, the Red Rock one is good too. It's a fun song, and I think it's a fun one because everyone like it's a fun song to listen with friends, like it's a good one that brings everyone together. It's a fun one to sing to. It's a fun, yeah, it's fun. I would go low A, high. No, I would go high B. I wouldn't even go low A personally.
Probably
So,
averaging
I
out at
mean,
an A right now
I
at
think
least.
like I feel like we average out at a high A. I'm obviously biased, but I
Wait,
feel the
did
same way Inky
you
does.
S? You said S.
Yeah, yeah, and I kind of feel the same way. Like I don't think it really ever misses for me. I don't.
Love
Again,
it.
I feel like I'm so close to being able to describe all this stuff that I like musically. Sometimes I'm not quite there. This song, it's the melody or the chord progression, the tempo changing a little bit. It's catchy in all those senses, but they solo over it. It's got a really great pace. Obviously, I'm not much of a dancer, jokes aside, but like I feel like that one would be a good. Like you see people getting loose a little bit with that.
Yeah.
I like it a lot. I think we've played it before, just like practicing, like me, Tim, Sean, and Kyle, and it's really fun and energetic, and that's the kind of stuff that I like. So high A, I guess is fair.
Yeah, I'll think about it a little more. I agree with that. I think it's an A. It's a good song.
Cool,
High A it
cool.
is.
Nice.
Sad,
I mean,
more Fred, but it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I would like to get Tim on one of these for sure. I mean, it'd probably quadruple the length because he'd be talking about shows that he's got like on his cassette tapes.
Yeah, yeah,
So awesome.
But this is a cool concept.
yeah.
And it's good to whip out when we only have 3 people.
I like it. Yeah, this is a good backup. And we can do this like during the week if just like the three of us are around. Like I like this format.
Glad you guys like it. Yeah.
And I'm
Quick,
excited.
easy.
I'm excited to talk Dead with Tim. Is Kyle a big Deadhead too?
Absolutely.
Like he can keep
Absolutely.
Have you seen him play the guitar, man?
Yeah, I have. He's I don't really know him very well. I honestly don't know if I've ever said a word to him in my life. But
I would say the counts is not knowing too well.
I mean, we played Little League together. That's probably the last time I really hung out. But this is gonna be. I'm excited to talk Dead with all these guys. And Porter's definitely stepping up his knowledge. Like
Dude, he sent me a what is it, New Speedway Boogie? From 91. He sent it to me at 4
Wow.
a.m. last night. He said,
Oh my
he
god.
said, definitely giving this to God.
Wow. That's awesome. Also,
He's so funny.
Boogie, underrated song, man. That I was just listening to that. The studio version's good. But anyways, let's not get carried away. Yeah, that was cool. Good start. Good
Yeah,
conversation.
I'm happy with the list.
Yeah, episode 1 of the miniseries, pretty strong, I'd say.
Yeah. Cool. All right. I'll see you guys this week.
I'll see you in like 4 days, dude. 3 days.
Awesome. Love it.
Yeah, can't wait.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right.
Peace,
See you
boys.
Take
guys.
it easy.